Recording in progress.
Okay, so this is the Foundation of Healthcare Mind Booster by Ma'am Mika. Para doon sa hindi pa nakakilala sa akin, ako ay isang byproduct ni Sir Jonas last November 2019. Back at CBRC pa kami. Okay, so pandemic happens and nag-astig nurse review center si Sir, and then later on naging Anaka Review Center. So kasama ako dyan ni Sir. Pioneer niya ako sa kanyang review center. All right, good afternoon. Okay, so basically our booster is like question and answer. It's like remembering all what you have learned, no? All throughout. Since kailan pa? Since June pa ba? Okay. So syempre let's move. If you are my student, palagi kong inuuna na i-discuss sa Foundation of Healthcare or Fundamentals of Nursing or Healthcare ay ang ating Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay? So when I say Maslow's hierarchy of needs, bakit natin to kailangang matutunan para marunong tayong What is the answer? Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Ayoko nang sasagot si Allen. Priority. Prioritization, prioritize. Okay? Ayan. So sa Maslow's hierarchy of needs, no? Ayan. So we can learn the prioritization. Saan? Sa clinical setting and also sa ating test. Okay? Kapag alam na alam ninyo kung ano yung basic human needs hanggang sa kanyang pinaka-goal, okay? So masasagutan nyo talagang maigi ang mga questions natin. Lalong-lalo na sa funda. Maraming lumalabas na ganyan. Mga prioritization. Bawat, what do you call this, situation. Okay, so ano-ano yung mga Maslow's hierarchy of needs natin? Ilan levels yan? Ilang levels? Ilang levels yan? Wala bang mga bagong name dyan? Magpa-participate? Participate tayo. Very good. So may 5 levels tayo. And those 5 levels are dapat in sequence, in order ha. In order. What are those? What are those? What are the 5 levels? O ano yung pinakauna natin? Physiologic needs, very good. Physiological needs. Physiological needs, yes. And the next is safety and security needs, very good. And then the next is love and belongingness, esteem needs, and the goal of oneself is self-actualization. Ayan, very good. Okay, so yun nga po, tatandaan ha. Ang pinakaunang kailangan ng tao, physiological needs, safety needs, love and belongingness, esteem, and self-actualization. Okay? So paano yan mai-imply? Paano yan mai-imply sa clinical setting? Halimbawa, may pasyente ka, pumasok. Pumasok ang isang pasyente. O sige, dalawang pasyente, may pumasok na dalawang pasyente. Yung isa, hirap na hirap ng makahinga dahil siya'y diabetic. Tapos yung isa, nagle-labor. 7 cm na nung inassess. So sino pinaka-priority mo? Sino pinaka-priority mo? Yung may difficulty of breathing or yung nagle-labor na 7 centimeters na? Yung difficulty of breathing, ano? Okay, yung may difficulty of breathing. 'Di ba? Ganon. Ganon ang prioritization natin. Halimbawa naman, sa iisang pasyente lang, nasagasaan ng motorsiklo. Okay? Profusely bleeding. Profusely bleeding. Tapos sabi ng nanay, hindi pa yan kumakain eh. Hindi pa yan kumakain. Tsaka, bakit ganyan yung bed ninyo? Wala man lang side rails. Ano yung concern na uunahin mo? So may tatlong condition. Profusely bleeding, hindi pa daw kumakain. Tapos, yung side rails daw. Mga anak, ulit, pumasok ano ng motorsiklo. Very good, Leila. Ang priority ay yung kanyang condition na profusely bleeding. Anong gagawin natin? Pag may profusely bleeding or active bleeding, refer. Hoy, mga anak, anong una nyo gagawin? I-refer nyo, hindi nyo profusely bleeding. Put pressure. Very good, Wenny. Put pressure to stop the bleeding, control the bleeding, halt the bleeding. O, di ba? Ganon. Okay. Very good. All right. So, ganun ha. Okay. So, pag sinabi natin physiological needs, tatandaan lang natin to. Mag-o-offer tayo ng kanilang kailangan. Okay? Katulad ng oxygen or air, fluid or water, food, elimination. Ang elimination, pag sinabi nating elimination, pwede ding sabihin excretion. So, pag-ihi, pagdumi, urination, defecation. Okay? And then, rest and sleep, and then sex or reproduction. So, kaya lang naman ginawang sex yan ay para sa mnemonics natin. Pero, it's the sexual activity po ha. Hindi yung ating male and female. Okay. So, sunod naman nito ay ang ating safety needs. So, isipin lang stability, things like home and shelter, orders or routine, and then protection. Next, sa love and belongingness. Okay. Sa love and belongingness is maintaining support system, protect from isolation. Ganyan yung mga situation sa love and belongingness. Sa esteem needs naman, self-respect, self-esteem, and respect from others. Okay? Pag yung nawawalan na siya ng confidence para gumaling, ayan, under esteem needs yon. Nagkakaroon ng anxiety dahil wala na nga siyang confidence, dahil hindi na siya naniniwala sa sarili niya na nagagaling siya at kaya niya yan, that falls under self-esteem needs. And then, ang pinaka-last, ang ultimate goal ay ang self-actualization. So ito ay achieving full potential po, no? Ayan, self-fulfillment, okay? So may mga lumalabas na katanungan, ano, di ko alam kung practice ko na to sa inyo before. Ano daw ang self-actualization ng isang nagle-labor? Oh, if you have a patient who's in labor, what is the self-actualization po? Ano kayang, ano nila? Anong full potential? Ano yung gusto nilang ma-achieve? What do you think? Successful delivery. Yun. Ganon. Okay? May cancer patient. Ano ang kanilang achievement? Full potential, full achievement of oneself. Ang gumaling, no? 'Di ba? Ayan, very good. Okay, so let's see nga. Let's see. So which of the following cluster of data belongs to Maslow's hierarchy of needs? A, love and belongingness, physiologic needs, self-actualization, or all of the above? Oh, mga anak, which is which? Which is which? Tama ba? All of the above ba? Very good. Letter F, wala tayong F. Joke lang. Tayo po. Letter D, all of the above. Very good. All of the above. So, ayan. What about this one? Using Maslow's hierarchy of basic human needs, which of the following has the highest priority? Letter A, ineffective breathing pattern related to pain as evidenced by shortness of breaths. Okay. Letter B, anxiety related to impending surgery. Okay, letter C, risk of injury related to autoimmune dysfunction. And letter D, impaired verbal communication related to tracheostomy as evidenced by inability to speak. What is the answer? Letter D ang answer. Again, using Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which of the following has the highest priority? Has the highest priority. Ano kaya? Ayun. Okay. Ayun. Short. Okay. Ayun, walang naliligaw. Walang naliligaw na sagot, no? Okay, so the answer is letter A. Okay, letter A. This falls under, saan? This fall under the physiological needs, 'di ba? Ayan. So, anxiety related to impending surgery as evidenced by insomnia. Nagkakaroon siya ng anxiety, anxious attack. Okay, so this might fall at self-esteem needs. Okay? Now, risk of injury related to autoimmune, injury. So, dito ang ating keyword, anxiety. Risk of injury, this falls under safety and security. Okay? Now, impaired verbal communication related to tracheostomy as evidenced by inability to speak. Saan to? Communication. Communication. So, pag communication, yung belongingness, Love and belongingness. Ayan. So, ganun sa board exam. Makikita ninyo. And then, ganyan din tayo magsagot dapat ha. I-identify lahat ng choices. Bakit siya naandoon? Para maganda ang elimination ninyo. Okay? Tatandaan nyo palagi yan ha. Alright, so let's go to the next topic. So what is the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity? What is it? Ay, wala na ba akong ibang estudyante dyan? Okay, just make sure na sumasagot kayo dyan, kahit na hindi kayo nagtatype, para mas maalala natin, So this is paulit-ulit na lumalabas yan sa board exam. Okay, paulit-ulit yan. So state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity is health. All right, it's health. So what about the two feedback mechanisms? What are the two feedback mechanisms? What are the two feedback mechanisms? Very good. It's the positive and the negative feedback mechanism. All right. Now, pag sinabi nating feedback, ito ay ang mekanismo on which or by which some of the output of a system return to the system as input. Okay? Now, meron tayong negative and positive feedback. So, yung negative, it stops changes, it inhibits changes, pinagbabawalan niya yung mga pagbabago. Halimbawa na lang, naging elevated ang iyong blood pressure. Forever bang kailangan okay lang na elevated ang blood pressure? Hindi. Okay, hindi. Ayan. So, kasi masisira ang kapag may alta presyon ng isang tao, ano mga nasisira? Nasisira ang ating mga organs, no? Okay? So, ayan. Nagka-counteract from a set point, essential for stable internal condition. So, in-stabilize niya yung condition ng pasyente or ng isang tao na nakakaranas ng unnecessary changes sa katawan. Yung positive feedback, mga anak, ay stimulate change. Okay? Halimbawa, you're set to give birth. Hindi pipigilan niya ng katawan mo. Talagang papaanakin ka niya. No? So that is positive feedback. Okay? All right. So what is a state of well-being? So sabi natin, well-being. Andito na yung answer natin, well-being. Ayan, well-being, it's wellness. Okay? Wellness is a state of well-being. Ano naman yung ating 7 lucky well? 'Di ba? 7 lucky well. The 7 components of wellness. 7 components of wellness. Yes. Yes, very good. Very good, Ayan. So, tatandaan nyo yan, ha? Physical wellness, emotional wellness, intellectual wellness, social wellness, spiritual wellness, environmental wellness, and occupational wellness. Okay? Ayan, parang nabitin yung slide natin. Ha? Occupational yan. Ayan. Okay. So, this is the state in which the person feels unhealthy. The state in which the person feels unhealthy. Ayan. Sumama ang pakiramdam. Okay, so that's illness. Very good. Okay, tatandaan ha. Now, I have a question. True or false? Illness is synonymous with disease. Illness is synonymous with disease. True or false? False. Illness is synonymous with disease? False. Kasi illness is not synonymous with disease. Okay? So there are stages of illness. Can you name the first stage? So pag sinabi nating stages, in sequence yan. Ano? In sequence yan. Okay? O, yun. As symptoms. Tapos, nagkaroon ng sintomas, nakaramdam ng sintomas. Oops! Assumption ng kasunod. Assumption. Okay? Ano pa? Medical care, yun, seeking medical care. And then, ano pa? Yes, dependent patient role. And then, recovery na. Okay, yon recovery na. All right. So, yun na nga po, symptoms, experience, assumption of sick role, and medical care contact, dependent patient role, and recovery and rehabilitation. So what is an alteration in body function resulting in reduction of capacities or shortening of the normal? Alterations, may pagkakaiba, may pag-iba daw doon sa sistema ng katawan mo. Oh, what's that? It's not yun, an alteration in body function resulting in reduction of capacities. Nagbago daw, no? Tinan nyo pag tinagalog natin yan. So it's disease. Very good kayo dyan. Disease po yun. Alteration in body function resulting in reduction of capacities or shortening of the normal lifespan. Ano? So, ano ba, di ba meron tayong according to duration, ano? Pag short span, anong tawag natin doon? Short span. Tapos, ang mga symptoms niya, severe, abrupt, ano? Pag short span, according to duration, yun, acute. No? Kapag naman long term, more than 6 months, tapos yung sulpot ng kanyang mga sintomas ay gradual, it's chronic. Very good. Okay? So, ayan, tatandaan lang natin yun ha. Acute, short span, chronic, long term. Okay? All right. So, napakita ko tuloy yung answer. Alam ko, alam na alam nyo yan. Ano ang ating nursing process? Components of our nursing process. 'Di ba? Yung ating ADPAI. Very good. Okay, ang pinakatanong lagi, sino ba ang nagda-diagnose? Sino ang nagda-diagnose? Doktor. Okay, we are not allowed to diagnose. Okay? Pero wag malilito. Pagdating sa board exam, hindi naman tayo nagda-diagnose. Tinitingnan lang nila kung alam natin. Kung alam natin kung ano yung mga pwedeng maaaring maging condition ng isang tao kapag ganito ang mga sintomas nila. 'Di ba? Okay. So, tama kayo, ADPAI. So, I wish, alam na alam nyo ang ADPAI ha. Assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, intervention, and evaluation. So, tatandaan nyo po ha. Tatandaan nyo yung assessment, first step po yan. So, anong activity natin? We gather data. Okay? And then we collect data. Sa diagnosis naman, lahat ng nag-gather mong data at nakakollect na data ay i-analyze mo siya. So you will identify the problem, interpret the data, ayan. Now, sa pagdating sa planning, okay, which is the criteria for evaluation, okay, magkakaroon ka ng goal. 'Di ba? Magkakaroon ka ng goal. Ayan. And then, so later on, meron tayong mga activities dyan. So, syempre, bago ka mag-plan ng interventions, yes, tama, you have to prioritize kung anong problema. Saan na-identify mong problem, 'di ba? And then, ang action phase natin or working phase, it's the implementation or intervention. And then, assessment of plan of care ay ang evaluation. Alright? So, like what I have said, the assessment phase is the first step of nursing process. Okay? During this phase, ang healthcare provider gathers information about the patient and Ang tawag natin sa ginagather natin ay data. We are good historian. We do good history taking. And then afterwards, we analyze the collected or collated data and then we identify the problem. Once we identify the problem, pupunta na tayo sa planning phase. We prioritize the problems, no, by hierarchy, di ba? Katulad na lang ng pasyente natin sa kanina, di ba? Profusely bleeding, hindi pa kumakain, tapos yung side rails daw, baka malaglag daw yung anak niya. So, ang pagkakasunod-sunod nun, ipa-priority mo, stop the bleeding, safety and security, no? Ayan. And yung hindi pa kumakain ay hindi mo muna siya ipa-priority. Okay? Kasi kung profusely bleeding ang pasyente, malamang ay papunta na siya sa anong condition? O sabi nga ni Allen kahapon, 'di ba? Papunta na, masashock na yung pasyente, no? Ayan. Okay, very good. So afterwards, no, afterwards we are implementing na, no, the action phase na, yun, hypovolemic shock, yes, and then evaluation na, no, afterwards. So, ang nursing process may characteristics yan. So, these are the components yung ating pinag-usapan. So, meron tayong characteristics. So, pag sinabing characteristic, ang nursing process ay cyclical, dynamic, client-centered, focus on problem solving, decision making, interpersonal and collaborative, universally applicable, and carry out thinking skills. Okay? So, napakagaling na nating mag-assess. Alam na natin yung components. So, ano yung tatlo nating sources of data? What are the 3 sources of data? So, yung pinag-aaralan natin, dalawa lang yung kilala halos. Pero, yung tatlong source ng data ay ang primary data, secondary data, and tertiary data. Pag sinabi nating primary source, sa nagsisimula ang letter na yan, letter P o patient. Primary patient. Yung secondary, sino yung mga secondary? Sino ang mga secondary bukod sa family members? Bukod sa family members. Sino ang mga secondary sources? O, di ba? May support person si Angelica. Sino pa? Mga kaibigan, nakasama nung nagkonsulta. Yun, mga healthcare providers, healthcare professionals, and ano pa? Ano yung pagmamay-ari ni pasyente, pagmamay-ari ng ospital na ginagawang secondary source? The patient's records or patient charts. Okay, na of course kasama doon yung mga diagnostic procedures, imaging, 'di ba? And laboratory exams. Very good. What about the tertiary source? What about the tertiary source? So bago ko ilipat ang slide, ano yung tertiary source yun? Books. So specifically, anong book? Mga doctrines, ano pa? The literatures, the protocols of the facility, and the policies of the facility, or yung mga national guidelines, ano? Okay. So, yon. Very good, Dale, no? Nagbalik ka. Nakakain ka na ba? Okay. So, ayan ang ating 3 sources of data. Primary, secondary, and tertiary, no? Para do sa mga ngayon lang nag-attend. Final coaching lang talaga, ayan. Okay. So, ang susunod naman natin, since we all know the 3 sources of data, ano naman yung ating physical assessment techniques? What are our physical assessment techniques? O, di ba sino-shortcut nyo lang ako? The inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation. When we do the general assessment technique, anong physical assessment technique ang gagawin natin? Anong physical assessment ang gagawin natin? Very good. Perlas, very good. Very good, guys. So, ipapea, no? Tatandaan. And then, kapag abdominal naman, pag abdomen ng ating Pag abdomen, ang ating i-inspect, IAPEPA, no? IAPEPA. What is the most used assessment technique? What is the most used assessment technique? Inspection. Very good. Inspection. Okay? Ayan. So, ang inspection, inspecting body system using vision, smell, and hearing. So, ano mga ino-observe natin? We observe for the color, size, location, movement, texture, symmetry, odors, and sound. Okay? Now, pagdating naman sa palpation, it requires you to touch the patient, no? Okay? Yung sense of our touch, no? Sense of touch. So, types of palpation, we have light palpation and deep palpation. Okay? So, pag light palpation, superficial lang ang feel natin to feel surface abnormalities. Pag deep palpation naman, we feel the internal organs and masses. So, paulit-ulit ako kapag old student ko na talaga kayo. Ano, as a midwife, ang ating ginagawa for deep palpation? Ano yung procedure natin? Where we apply the deep palpation, the Leopold's maneuver. Very good, no? Kasi anong kinakapan natin doon? Yung fetus, no? All right. So fetus is located deep inside the... Yes, Ma'am Gemma. Yes, opo. Ano po ang katanungan? Ma'am Castillo? Castillo? Okay, sige, type mo lang yan dyan. All right. So percussion involves tapping of fingers or hands quickly against the body of the patient. So we have direct and indirect. And then yung auscultation is, ano ginagamit nating senses? Senses of hearing by the use of the stethoscope. Ayan, use of the stethoscope. So to provide comfort while doing the auscultation, ano gagawin natin? To provide comfort while using the instrument stethoscope. Anong gagawin natin? Yun, warm the stethoscope. Warm the stethoscope by doing, how can we warm the stethoscope? How can we warm it? May i-autoclave natin. Paano tayo magwa-warm? Rub your hands muna, no? And then, o, 'di ba? Matatransfer yung... Ayan, okay. Very good. All right. So as we move on, ayan. Sabi nga natin yung inspection, this is the most frequently used assessment technique, okay? So for observations using visual, auditory, and olfactory senses. So when we say visual, anong ginagamit nating organ? So yung mga ating mga mata, eyes, no? Kapag sinabing auditory, o tinatanong yan sa board exam, visual, auditory. Pag auditory, pag sinabing auditory, anong gagamitin natin? Ears. Ears. Kapag olfactory, olfactory, pag sinabing olfactory, ano niyan? Mga anak, nose. Nose yan, okay? Nose ang gagamitin natin dyan. Ayan. Yung otoscope, that is an instrument to inspect the ear. Okay? Yung Snellen chart naman, alam na natin yan. Ano? Once na din tinanong to sa board exam kung ano yung Snellen chart. Ang approach ng tanong nila ay, as far as I could remember, as per the student before, ano daw yung gagamitin mo para malaman mo yung visual acuity ng pasyente. So, Snellen chart yung sagot. Okay? So, next is the auscultation. Anong gamit natin sa auscultation? Anong equipment? The stethoscope. So, ito ay yung act of listening to sound produced within the body. Okay? With the use of the stethoscope. Alright. So, ano naman yung ating assessment technique na ginagamitan natin ng sense of touch? Sense of touch. Palpation. Okay. When I say I'm assessing a patient by using tactile senses. Ano yon? Tactile. Touch, very good. Okay, very good. Lumabas sa board exam po yan. So, ang palpation is technique using the sense of touch. Okay? So, pagdating sa auscultation, invasive na, no? Kasi tinatouch mo na or ini-invade mo na yung private space or personal space ng pasyente. Alright? Ngayon, lalong-lalo na sa palpation. 'Di ba? Lalong-lalo na sa palpation. Okay, so this is where we gather information about the temperature, turgor, texture, moisture, vibration, and shape. Kasi we have to feel. We have to feel it, 'di ba? Ayan. So, principles of palpation is, of course, to provide comfort, we have to warm your hands. 'Di ba? We have to shorten our fingernails. You have to advise the patient to breathe normally throughout the palpation, and if there is pain, discontinue the palpation immediately. Okay, so always inform the patient where, when, and how the touch will occur. 'Di ba? Kapag nagle-Leopold's maneuver tayo, hindi natin sinasabi na okay, higa ka na diyan. Tapos wala kang salita-salita, no? Talagang tinouch-touch mo lang yung kanyang chan. So that's invasion of personal space, no? Hindi comfortable 'yon sa isang tao. You have to inform. Kumbaga merong consent, no? Ayan, para baka pag-gain ka ng consent ng mabilisan, 'di ba? Oh, by the way, if we are talking about Leopold's maneuver procedure, ano nga ba yung una nating sasabihin sa pasyente bago natin gawin ang Leopold's maneuver? Commonly asked din to. Ask to void, paihiin muna. Okay, paihiin muna. And what position? What position ang ating gagawin? Supine ba? Lithotomy? Dorsal recumbent, no? Dorsal recumbent wherein the patient is lying flat on back and then slightly abducted ang kanyang mga legs. Hindi pwedeng straightened because pag straightened, naka-supine position, ano mangyayari sa tiyan? Mai-stretch, no? Hindi nyo maayos ang pagpapalpate. It's uncomfortable for the patient. Okay? So, sa percussion naman, it's the act of striking. Kapag nakakita kayo sa board exam ng striking or tapping, no, against another, ito ay percussion. So, the body produces sounds. At etong lima na to, ito yung palaging lumalabas sa board exam. Believe it or not, lumalabas palagi. Si timpani, si resonance, hyperresonance, dullness, and flatness. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating flatness, okay, it's a dull sound generated by the very dense tissue katulad ng bones and muscle. Kapag dullness naman, thud-like, no, generated by the dense tissue katulad ng liver, heart, or spleen. Or di kaya naman yung may mga ascites. So what is ascites? It's a condition wherein yung abdominal cavity mo ay punong-puno ng fluid or mga distended bladder din. So pag resonance naman, okay, hollow sound generated by a normal lung. Kapag hyperresonance, abnormal booming sound heard when percussing a lung of a patient with emphysema. So ang timpani naman ay musical sound associated with air in the stomach or intestines. Alright? Okay. So ayan po. Resonance, again, heard over the normal lang. Kapag hyperresonance, yun yung may mga condition, emphysema, no? So yung normal breath sounds are vesicular sounds that are soft, blowing, or rustling sound normally heard throughout most of the lung fields. So this is the most commonly auscultated breath sound, vesicular sound. Have an inspiration or expiratory ratio of 3:1 or 3 inhalation and 1 exhalation. So there are two types of data. Anong two types of data namin? Kanina source, ngayon naman pag source kasi pinanggalingan. Kapag naman types, ano yung mga types of data natin? What are the types of data? It's the subjective and the objective. Okay. So subjective, objective. But pero pag kung mapapansin nyo sa mga previous lesson ko, 'di ba, meron tayong verbal and non-verbal data, no? Pero pinaka-common na data, no, ay ang pinaka-common types ay ang subjective and objective. Yung subjective, kanino galing yan? Kaninong source yan galing? Sa pasyente. Very good. Okay. So, si subjective data ay covert. Okay. Kino-cover ng pasyente, hidden by the patient. Kasi si patient lang ang makakapagsabi ng mga subjective data. Lahat ng sinasabi ng pasyente, subjective data. Yes, mga symptoms. Yan. So, it is not measurable or observable kasi si patient lang sa perception ni patient, 'di ba? So, this is obtained from the client or the patient. Okay? Symptoms like, eto yung mga commonly na lumalabas sa board exam, no? Cold, nilalamig, lightheaded, dizzy, nauseated, short of breath, thirsty, tired, weak, blurry of vision, and any type of pain. Okay? Alright. Now, yung pain, mga anak, huwag niyong pagkakaguluhan or pagkakalituhan yan. Okay? Yung pain, kapag sinabi ng pasyente, yan ay subjective. Kapag naman mineasure ng healthcare provider at sinabing, patient, gaano kasakit ang iyong nararamdaman? From 1 to 10, 10 pinakamasakit, 1 yung hindi masakit. So, yun ay magiging objective na. Kapag nakakita kayo ng ganun kapag nakakita kayo ng ganung statement that the healthcare provider measured the scale of pain. Okay? So, yung pain scale, yun yung pinaka-objective nyo. Pain scale, 2 to 10, ganon. Okay? Pero yung subjective na halimbawa, headache. So, yung headache, ilalagay nyo sa subjective. Okay? Tapos, yung ilalagay nyo sa objective, okay, ay ang yung pain scale na nakuha ninyo. Okay? Ganun po ha. Wala pong magkapareho doon kasi yung isa hindi perception nyo ng pasyente, sinabi niya. Yung isa naman, sinukat ng healthcare provider using the pain scale. Alright. Now, punta na tayo sa ating objective data. So, tatandaan nyo lang of. No? Objective data is very obvious, observable, and overt. Overt. Okay? Kapag nakakita kayo ng overt data, that is objective data. As simple as that, lumalabas sa board exam. Number 1, covert data is, ganun lang, napakasimple. Covert data is, overt data is, tapos colon. No? Ang hirap ng ating nire-review pero pagdating sa board exam, ay, ano to? Then pinapa-define lang nila. Okay? Vertigo. Vertigo po, objective ba yun? Vertigo, ano ba ang vertigo? Sige. O, tatanungin ko rin kayo, ano ba yung vertigo? Ano yung vertigo, anak? Sino nakakaramdam nun? Sino nakakaramdam ng vertigo? Si patient. Lahat ng nararamdaman ni patient, subjective. Halimbawa, no, ang vertigo, sasabihin niya, parang umiikot yung room. Parang umiikot. You as a healthcare provider, makikita mo ba na parang umiikot yung room? Or nakikita mo siya na umiikot? Hindi. Ganun lang yung kadaling intindihin kung ano yung mga subjective and objective. So bilang ikaw, bilang tao, alam ko nararamdaman mo yung ganan. Minsan nahihilo, minsan yung parang lumilindol, 'di ba? Ikaw lang nakakaramdam nun. Kapag verbalize mo, ayun. Okay. O, 'di ba? Ano pa? Ano pa sa subjective and objective? May nalilito pa ba diyan? May nalilito pa ba? Now is the time para i-ano na natin yan. Although no, sa iba, madaling-madali to. Pero sa iba, minsan nakikitahan ko sila ng struggle kapag ina-identify yung mga subjective and objective data and symptoms and signs. No? Ayan. So, Mga anak, tatandaan nyo ha, sa objective dates, kanina no, si subjective, si sintomas. Sintomas na nararamdaman ng pasyente. Okay? Yung signs naman, senyales. Signal. Nakikita. 'Di ba? When someone is signaling, nakikita nyo. 'Di ba? Yung mga cues ng katawan. 'Di ba? So, ganon sa healthcare provider. Ang objective ay isang klase ng senyales, signs. Okay? Tatandaan nyo yun, ha? Okay. O ano pa, wala na? Wala nang clarification? Yung mga nahihiyang magtanong, magtanong ulit sa akin sa Facebook. Wala kaming sawang magsasasagot para sa inyo. Okay? Wag niyong paiirali ng hiya-hiya ninyo ha. At saka yung parang baka sabihin ni ganito, baka sabihin ni ganyan, hindi po. Wag po kayong gano'n ng mindset ha. Aggressive na tayo dapat ngayon. All right. So ano ang mga common? Ano yung mga common na mga objective data na lumalabas sa board exam? Cyanosis, jaundice, swelling, edematous, lethargy or lethargic, acrocyanosis, central cyanosis, pale, diaphoresis, circum, circumoral cyanosis. Okay, kapag sinabi nating cyanosis, mga anak, paulit-ulit tayo dyan dahil paborito yan ng board exam ng MLE natin. Kapag cyanosis, anong kulay yan? Bluish, no? Bluish yan, mga anak. Bluish. Bluish discoloration. Pag jaundice, yellowish. Yellowish, very good, no? Yellowish. Okay. Swelling. Swelling, pwedeng pwedeng edema, pwedeng blisters, swelling of the injured or fractured site, tapos closed wound, 'di ba? Ayan. So dito no sa acrocyanosis and central cyanosis. Okay, wait lang po ha.
Recording in progress.
Okay, etong acrocyanosis and central cyanosis, pakatandaan po natin ito. Okay? So usually, si acrocyanosis ginagamit ni board ni BOM. Yung peripheral cyanosis ginagamit din nila. Okay? Now, is acrocyanosis normal for a newborn baby? For a newborn or for a neonate, is acrocyanosis a normal condition? Yes. So ano ba yung acrocyanosis? What is acrocyanosis? What is acrocyanosis? So nakalagay naman cyanosis bluish discoloration yan. What is acrocyanosis? Yes, it's normal. But what is yun? Bluish extremities, no? Bluish distal part of the body. Bluish extremities, bluish hands, bluish foot or feet, 'di ba? Okay. So pag sinabi peripheral cyanosis, distal part of the body is bluish in color pa rin, okay? Has a bluish discoloration. Kaya pareho si acrocyanosis and peripheral cyanosis. So, based on my experience 2019, paulit-ulit yung acrocyanosis tsaka peripheral, magkakaibang subject, ICF at tsaka funda. Okay, ICF and funda. Tapos, sabi, is peripheral cyanosis normal for a newborn? So, normal, no? Kasi synonymous siya sa acrocyanosis. While central cyanosis naman, ibig sabihin niyan center of the body. Center of the body ang nagbo-bluish and discoloration. Ang bluish discoloration. Okay, now, let me ask you, is central cyanosis a normal condition in a newborn? No. No, hindi pwede, no, no. Nagbo-bluish yung torso, yung body, yung nose, yung bibig, hindi pwede. Hindi, okay? It's not normal, abnormal yan, okay? So, central cyanosis ay bluish discoloration of the center of the body, okay? So, pale, alam na naman natin, pamumutla, di ba? Diaphoresis, sweating, okay? Yung redness yan, nakikita kasi yan ng ating mga mata, na-observe natin yan, no? So yung circumoral cyanosis naman ay bluish discoloration ng mouth. All right? Okay, so the next one is we have to discuss the cues and inferences. Okay? So cues and inferences, this is being asked sa board exam, not by situation. But they will just specify na these are data collected by the healthcare provider. So obviously, kapag nakalagay dyan Q's inferences, kunyari letter A, Q's, B inferences, ganyan, C and D, etc. So Q's yung sagot natin. So si inferences naman, interpretation naman. Inferences are interpretations of the cues by the healthcare provider. So ano nga ba yung cues? Cues are collected data by the healthcare provider. No, yung based on her or his judgment as a healthcare professional, 'di ba? Ayan. So yan ang ating assessment technique. So sa assessment technique, sa IPAPEA, kasama diyan yung mga types of sources and kind of sources and types of sources of data and then types of data. Okay? So now we go to the heat loss mechanism. What are the four types of heat loss mechanism? Okay, very good. So the four types of heat loss mechanisms are conduction, radiation, evaporation, and convection. Ano? So kapag sinabi natin comes in direct contact with an object, okay? So titingnan niyo lang, contact. Okay? Contact, yung conduction yun. Okay? Yun ang tatandaan natin dyan, ha? So, heat loss by conduction occurs when an infant is placed on a cooler surface or touching them with a cool objects or hands. So, paano natin mape-prevent to? You have to warm your hands, 'di ba? Kasi magka-came into contact yan eh. You have to warm the objects that will touch the infant like the stethoscope, 'di ba? And then place an infant against the mother's skin to help prevent conductive heat loss. Alright? So, ang kasunod naman ay, kung ito ay with contact with the solid object, ano naman yung not in direct contact with the solid object or with the object? So, that's radiation. Ganun lang, napakadali, no? Contact with the solid object. Radiation without contact, no? Alright, so, tsaka when the infants or patient is placed near cold windows or walls. So heat loss is lost by radiation. So even neonates are placed in incubators, it loses heat to the walls of the incubator. If it's cold, even if surrounding air temperature is warm. So ano yung malapit sa pasyente na pwedeng mag-radiate yung coolness ng or hotness ng isang solid object. So there are ways to prevent heat loss by radiation. So, dapat double walls, okay? Ayan, so dito tayo, double walls ang incubator, and cribs and incubator should be placed away from the walls and windows. Alright, ano yung lagi kong pinapaalala sa inyo? Baka lang lumabas yung old question na ito. So, kayo daw ay nasa GIDA area and walang incubator. Walang incubator. Kailangan ng bata ng incubator. Hindi nyo siya masusugod sa ospital. So, ano ang gagawin? So, meron tayong bassinet dapat, ano? So, may bassinet, halimbawa, or kuna, or ganun. Papaligiran daw ng ano ang bata? Ng bottles with hot water. Okay, baka lang lumabas, no? Hot water bottle. Tapos, yung hot water bottle, of course, ay i-cover natin ng mga cloth, lampin, or clothing, ha? Baka lang naman lumabas, okay? Kasi last time lumabas yung bee sting. 'Di ba? Mamaya lumabas diyan yung mga bakit nagdadala tayo ng payong. Okay? Ni-remind ko kayo diyan. Anong kulay ng payong? Ng midwife sa community. May mga ganyang tanong dati. 'Di ba? So, ayan. Yes, lumalabas talaga, no? Alam nyo, sa aking tutorial, tinatanong nila, ma'am, bakit dinidiscuss mo pa yung mga glass thermometer? Bakit dinidiscuss mo pa yung mga home delivery? Kasi lumalabas talaga siya. And by experience, 2019, lumalabas yung mga old question. Okay? Lumalabas din yung lumalabas din yung mga tao na hindi naman na present sa PGD, naranasan ko yan. Hindi naman siya, sino daw yung current na secretary ng Department of Health noong 2019. Pero hindi nakalagay yung pangalan nung hindi nakalagay yung pangalan ng pinaka-current secretary. So, syempre, ang doon, titingnan mo kung sino yung pinaka bagong pangalan doon. Based on the information na binigay ni Sir Joe na sa inyo, di ba? Meron tayo noon yung mga tao. Okay. So, ganun lang. Okay, baka lang, lumabas yung mga ganyan. Okay, para hindi na kayo magugulat. Okay. So, convection naman is when heat is transferred to the air surrounding the infant. Okay? Halimbawa, if an air conditioner is kept on or when people move around near the infant, it increases loss of heat. Okay? So, anong ways to prevent? Keeping the newborn out of drafts, clearing the air drafts, maintaining warm environmental temperature, keeping a preterm neonate in an incubator. So, ang next ay ang pinaka-popular na heat loss. What is the popular heat loss? Most commonly na nangyayari sa isang newborn. It's the evaporation. Very good. Okay? So, this involves liquid. Okay? Liquid or fluid. Halimbawa, bagong panganak ang bata. Submerged siya saan? Sa amniotic fluid. Therefore, anong gagawin natin to prevent heat loss by evaporation? So, we have to dry the newborn as quickly as possible. Ano nga ba timeline natin dyan? Ano timeline natin dyan sa unang yakap or sa ENC? Ang thorough drying is up to timeline natin dyan. Kapag sinabing timeline, time sensitive, time, oras, alam, 30 seconds. 30 seconds po. Okay? Ayan. So kapag pinaliguan ng bata, dry the infant immediately after bathing. Ayan, dry the infant immediately after bathing. Alright, so yan naman ang heat loss. Ano naman yung common types of fever? 4 common types of fever. Madadali lang din yan. What are the 4 common types of fever? The intermittent, the remittent, constant, and ano yung isa? Nawawala. Relapsing. Okay? So, ayan. Intermittent, relapsing, constant, and remittent. Okay? So, kapag sinabi nating intermittent fever, tatandaan natin na ito ay between periods of fever and periods of normal or subnormal temperature. And then, it's on and off in a matter of hours. Ganon yung tatandaan natin, ha? Okay? Periods of fever and periods of normal and subnormal temperature on and off in a matter of hours. Intermittent yon. So, when we say naman relapsing, periods of fever and normal temperature din po, pero on and off naman siya in a matter of days. Okay? Yun naman yung relapsing. Then, kapag sinabi natin constant, it remains above normal, but it fluctuates very minimal. Okay? But it always remains above normal. Okay? When we say remittent naman, okay? So, there's a wide range of temperature fluctuation more than 2 degrees Celsius that occurs over 24-hour period and all of which are above normal. Okay? So, meron tayong decline of fever, the lysis and the crisis. Now, lysis and crisis, commonly din na lumalabas sa board exam, no? Pag sinabi nating lysis, ito yung pag-decline ng fever gradually. Gradual, like kunyari, example, from 41 to 40, ganon. But pag sinabing crisis, sudden, no? Crisis is a sudden decline of fever. So for example, yung 42 degrees Celsius, bigla na lang naging 37.8, naglaktaw ng malaki. No? Ayan. So, I have a question here. Nakuha nyo na to sa akin dati, yung mga nasa ano yun, yung isang package ni Sir? Nakalimutan ko. Yung isang package, ayan. The most effective way to reduce a fever is to apply ice packs, increase fluid intake, administer an antipyretic, or sponge bath the patient with cold water. So, the correct answer here is very good, letter C. No? Letter C, most effective, no? Kung titingnan nyo, lahat ng choices natin ay epektibo, no? Pero what is the most effective doon among the choices? So the most effective way to reduce a fever is to administer an antipyretic which lowers the temperature set point, okay? Bago magtipid sponge bath mga anak ha, bago magtipid sponge bath, kailangan painumin mo muna siya ng paracetamol or mga analgesic or antipyretic medication ha. Tatandaan natin yon. Baka lang lumabas na naman. Okay. So punta tayo sa mga ating normal temperature ranges and yung mga site natin kung saan natin kinukuha yung temperature. Okay, so pag sa kilikili, axilla, no? Axillary temperature is usually 1 degree Fahrenheit lower than oral temperature. Okay? Mas mababa ang axillary temperature. Okay. So in taking the vital signs of a child, kailangan least invasive procedure to the most invasive, di ba? So uunahin natin respiratory rate, pulse rate, temperature, and blood pressure. Now, I want you to remember, okay? I want you to remember na ang blood pressure is not routinely done na kinukuha sa newborn. Lalo na pag term newborn, ano? So tandaan po na it is routinely done lang po on a 3-year-old starting from 3 years old and above, okay? So, ang auxiliary temperature, ang timing niya 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? Huwag niyo kung dadahilan na ma'am, digital na po ngayon. Mga anak, ito muna tayo ha. Dito muna tayo. Kapag pinag-usapan sa board exam, ilang minuto mo daw kailangan ma-secure ang magandang resulta ng temperature ng isang tao. 5 to 10 minutes po yung isasagot natin dyan ha. 5 to 10 minutes po. Okay? So, most safest yang auxiliary po. Now, next is the most accessible and convenient oral, no? Taken 3 to 5 minutes. Sulat 3 to 5 minutes. Okay? So, fever is anything over 100.6 Fahrenheit pagdating sa oral. So, let's convert it. Sige nga, paki-convert ang 106. Alam na ba ang conversion? Magaling na ba sa conversion? Ayan ang ating formula. So 106, 100.6 minus 32 divided by 1.8. Ano sagot natin? Ano sagot natin? Sige po, paki-convert itong 100.6 para malaman natin kung ano po yung may fever sa oral. Ano po? Compute it again. Compute it again. It's 38.1. Paano nakuha yan, ma'am? 100.6 minus 32 divided by 1.8 equals 38.11 or 1. So pag ginawang whole number, ano siya? 38 siya, 'di ba? 38 Celsius na siya. Okay? So kapag ganyan ang nakuha mo orally, may fever na, no? Okay, so this is most accessible and convenient. Okay, sa rectal naman, it takes 2 to 3 minutes para makakuha ng accurate result. Tapos i-insert nyo yung 0.5 to 1.5 each. Ano ang sabi ko dito sa ating fast recap natin before sa fundamentals? Okay? RRR. Rectal you should be using red tip with round bulb. Okay, natatandaan nyo pa yon? Hindi na natatandaan. Yung rectal, red tip, round bulb. Tandaan po yan ha. Red tip, round bulb. Yun lang, napakadali, no? Ayan. So, ang nakukuha natin sa rectal ay core temperature. Okay, core temperature. Kapag naman sa oral and axilla, yung surface temperature naman yon. Okay? So, ano ang pinakamabilis naman?